Dear friends and watchers all over the world, in the United States, and the United Kingdom, and France, and Ireland, and especially all the friendly people in Singapore, I want to thank you so much for your support. Don't you miss to buy my books on the internet shops or visit the site www.12words.de. Thank you so much and enjoy the video. Perception and knowledge. Limited, restricted knowledge. Our perception with regard to finding meaning in existence is quite limited, purely mechanical, and also as far as our spirit is concerned. The insight, the true vision with the eyes of God, transcends these machinations, these walls that keep us in darkness. However, unrecognized by the majority, there is a fundamental, diametrically opposed to reference construction of existence, not only in the general mindset, but rather in the existential-subjective search for meaning, a dynamic of loving dissolution of any supposed facts that stems from absolute creation and potentiates itself. In the end, as good as nothing. Because what we can absorb and then also store and reproduce in any form is very fundamentally always related to the possibilities of finding information available to us. We are truly the smallest lights in our cognitive abilities, as the general consensus of knowledge shows. Our purely technical possibilities alone, hearing, sight, sensory organs, are in the lowest tenth of what nature would easily be able to create at the drop of a hat. These are merely the physical boundaries. The actual bricks, boulders, rock giants that block our view of the path to certain knowledge that leave us standing in suffering naivety are the limitations that we have imposed on ourselves in consensus with social doctrine. With the basic features of our system of thought, we have given up our freedom in favor of heresy. Divided into the greatest smallness. We think in limited smallness, and in doing so have allowed ourselves to become involved in a painful role of judgment, whose breeding prejudices, premises, parables, and basic algorithms, with the help of which we revise our information, which is in any case automatically filtered in the corresponding ego sense of self-autonomy, fear and separation we see as our life. Any escape from these self-adjusting shackles, they are always excellently camouflaged, cleverly hidden, seems impossible. Let reason prevail. However, we now find ourselves in the excellent position of being able to describe our situation very clearly. We can recognize more than tendencies. We can see patterns that join, that point very obviously in a direction, even not yet comprehensible. And furthermore, in order to really understand, we are able to use our reason. Because of the path, the beginning of which the ego wants to hide from us, because it means its end, is in complete contrast to the ego thought structure, which is just poor chaos of drama, completely reasonable. Problem solving. A very simple way of approaching the problem leads to the concept of absolute, which can serve as a stable bridge. Poor reason shows that something which may ultimately be responsible for the creation par excellence must be an absolute force. The creative power must be absolute. Spinoza, Kant, and Schelling indulge in secondary abstractions here, what is meant is merely the absolute as omnipresent, as all-embracing, all-pervading, non-judgmental, unique, singular, from the deepest logic of thoroughly divine knowledge. Only love is absolute. The only possibility that exists in this context, the chosen power that fulfills the prerequisite for an absolute, and thus as an entity of creation that has arisen purely from a sacred original idea, is love. No other word, thing, feeling, nothing other than that which embodies true, real love, as opposed to any kind of social love, can be absolute at all. We can now clearly see that love and creation are completely identical, because absolute can only exist once. There is, from pure, sober reason, no other option. The world was created in perfect, in absolute love. Children of the absolute. So we recognize in rational abstraction that we are the children of an absolute energy. Every characteristic of this absolute is also ours. The absolute is an all-encompassing unity, can only pass itself on in its entirety. We are pure love. Everything that is not love, purified logic, can therefore only be an illusion, a misjudgment, a false image, a deception, an inability, a situation stemming from too little information. Transcending the world. It is possible, with this sacred perspective, to unhind the world of judgments and prejudices, of hatred and greed, of suffering and illness, of the proclaimed imminent end of our being. It is possible here to unhind this world from sad, painful illusions, from the spiritual approach, to dissolve the fear that underlies it, that is its motor, to recognize its reality of non-existence. Conclusion. This is where the path to realization begins, and pure reason leads to its beginning. So it is the same all-conquering power that tenderly protects us every split second of our earthly dream, that gives us the assurance of eternal life, that gives us, when we only decide to do so, all conceivable happiness and peace here in our existence. Absolute love hears the faintest call. It rushes to your aid.